Well, hello, and thank you for joining us for another episode. I know that last week it was a day late. Sorry, but it was a holiday, and uh, Monday was a holiday. it
Yeah.
was a it was an extra Sunday, and so we posted the next day. But I hope you caught it, and I hope everybody's doing great. I hope everybody's having a great week. How about you?
Week's gone okay. The deal is whenever you start the year like this, we start, New Year's Day is Monday, and then you have the holiday, you have Martin Luther King Day, and you always get thrown off in the week. Like I keep messing up the week. Like I'm old enough to know how this works to go, what do you mean it's not Thursday? And it's embarrassing. And then you miss a point. I don't know about you, but I've missed appointments. I've missed phone calls and people get upset. Like, can't you follow a calendar? And so it's kind of embarrassing that I haven't reacted well to, Mondays being off days. And so I'm trying to just catch up and get the balance of 2024. I'll be honest with you, for both of us, 2024 kind of stinks. Like I'm looking forward to 2025. Like I'm ready to throw this whole year away already.
Me too. And it's so funny because it's like every year you get hopeful, like this is going to be a better year. I mean, I
Yes.
knew this wasn't going to be a good year for me. I knew that going into it. I'm still trying to enjoy the most of it. But Dave, let me ask you a question. You do not use the calendar on your phone with alerts
I
and
I
reminders?
I I do, and I mean, this is how I do it. I literally put a ton of stuff in my phone calendar. I write it down on a desk calendar, and then I keep a list of things to do every single day. And for some reason, I've been thrown off. I don't know why I can't keep track. Maybe I'll be honest with Nicole. Here's the most embarrassing thing: is I need glasses. Okay, and I do have glasses. I have them right here, but I don't like to show people that I need glasses. So a lot of times I can't. I just can't straight see. And so I never
Okay,
walk around with my glasses.
are we sure that you've just not been digging back into that bag of gummy
No, I haven't. I told you it freaked me out. No, I
edibles?
haven't.
Have you been doing those edibles?
No, I have not. That was a
Uh,
one-time deal that went horribly wrong. So no, I haven't. But it's
okay.
it's the fault of not being able to, I think, see is that it's like how big do I want to make the print on my phone? And
Big,
you're going,
as
okay,
big as you need it, as big as you
oh
need it,
my
and
God.
why don't you get contacts?
I'm afraid. I'm afraid that I can't get him in my eye. I remember watching my dad, and my dad would be like in the bathroom, he'd be like this, trying to catch it in his eye. I'm like, it doesn't work that way, Dad. So it's the glasses thing. I don't know why I try and fight the age thing, and I think when I put the glasses on, I just don't want to. In my head, it hurts me that I look old. I don't know. You know,
Oh, you can make them a fashion statement. Young people wear glasses. I know
they
it's like I
do.
get some people that write to me and they're like, "Love your glasses. Where do you get them?" And then other people are like, "Would you quit wearing those glasses?" It's like, first of all, I need them to see. When I
Yeah,
can't see, I'm pretty grumpy. I'm pretty frustrated when everything's blurry. Second, if I have to wear things on my face all day long, I'm going to go with the fashion of it. I'm not going to go with like weird, like trying to pretend like I don't have glasses on, like the thinnest frame possible. Like, people maybe don't notice. Oh, people notice. If you have to wear glasses, you have to wear glasses. You might as well make them the coolest one on the market in the moment. That's
Th-
my opinion. I'm
I'm
going. I'm
with
going
you.
with fashion. Yeah.
I'm with you. I don't know. I never think. Well, it's funny. I've said to Nicole when we started the show, I go, "Do you mind if I wear a baseball cap? I love wearing a hat. Or I like the way I look better in a hat. Even though I have a full head of hair, I will wear a hat whenever I get an opportunity. I don't like the way I look with glasses and a hat. Watch. It looks terrible, Nicole. It looks
Like,
ridiculous. I don't
okay,
like it.
wait. Take the hat off. Take the hat
No,
off and
my
put the
hair's a
glasses
mess.
on.
I just took a shower.
Okay.
My hair is soaking wet. Yeah, no, I look like an idiot. My hair is soaking wet. But
I think you should look into contacts. I don't think contacts are as scary as your dad made them seem. I,
that's
I, I think lots of people wear them successfully. Just saying.
and you know what? They are more fashionable, just like you said. When I was in school and people had glasses, people goofed on them. Do you remember when they call kids four eyes? Like
Wise,
what the
yeah,
hell? They just goofed on you when you're a kid. They get
yeah.
on you for everything. So I
Well, they
think
do.
it's the yeah yeah.
But
Just
listen,
be honest. You were
you
never
might as well be
teased,
fun.
Nicole.
I was
You never
teased,
went
but
through it.
not like not. I didn't need glasses when I was a kid, but no, I got teased. Listen, have the last name Eggert. I mean, the abundance of jokes you can come with egg. But with the glasses, it's like you might as well make them fun. Like,
Yes.
Not
That's
putting on
true.
the same old boring pair of, I wanna make them fun, different ones with
That's
different
true.
outfits. Let's
Well, I
go.
noticed before we went on there, you had a set of glasses that I hadn't seen before. So you have another set. Like you do have multiple sets.
Oh, I have sets everywhere. The ones that I had on when you when I was first talking to you, these are so funny because these were the first pair I ever got. They're the most comfortable ones, but I need to get the lenses replaced in them because they are so smudged. They're like permanently smudged and scratched.
Oh no.
And they just look terrible. I remember wearing them and my daughter goes, "Can you even see through those glasses?" And I was like, remarkably, I can, but I know I need to get them. I know I need to get it, but they're just the lightest, most comfortable pair. You have that one pair that are your
Yeah.
favorites, like with sunglasses or anything. But then I left them next to the stove and like part of it got burned.
Oh no.
Part of it like melted just a little bit. So I kind of feel embarrassed to take these in and go, "Can you put new lenses in them?" But they're just my favorite pair of frames. They're just I mean, I can fall asleep in these frames. I wake up in the middle of the night and like take them off because I've fallen asleep with them on. They're just so comfortable. They're my favorite one. So I
That's
can't let them
awesome.
go. Yeah.
All right. So I want to get into some what I hope was a happy occasion for you. The last show we did, it was the day before your birthday. Did you have a great birthday?
I did have a really fun birthday. A couple friends of mine and my daughter, we went to Smokehouse, that restaurant, which I just love. It's so old school. It has so much history. My dad used to take me there when I was little. They have some of the best
Cool.
prime rib. And I was just showered with love. I really was. And I just wanted to have a good day. That's all I care about is just, having a good time. And we really did. So yeah, I don't put a lot of expectations on birthdays. These years they can come and they go. If you have a good time on one of them, that's a plus.
Do you have one looking back at your memory of going, that was my favorite birthday of all time?
I mean, probably the most simplest ones. I mean, I've had ones where I had big, huge, extravagant parties. I think maybe my 16th, my sweet 16 was a good one.
What did
Just
you do?
because I
Yeah.
had a party at Universal Sheraton in their penthouse conference area. It's like the whole top floor with great views. And remember, this was a long time ago that
Yeah.
that hotel is still really nice. Oh, it might still be really nice. I just don't think I've been back since. Um, but I had a huge party with, friends from Orange County, friends from LA. It was like everybody all in one room. But you're 16th, you're getting that driver's license.
Yes.
And I had just purchased a home, I had purchased it while I was 15 and was having it remodeled, and I was just able to move into it. So I got my first new home. I was a first-time homeowner, for myself and a car and my driver's license. So
That's
that was a good birthday.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Think about it. I mean, at 16, you purchase a home. I mean, nobody does
Yeah.
that. And then at the same time, you get the new car. I mean, that's pretty cool too.
Yeah.
You
It
know,
was
that
really cool.
have you noticed now? I mean, you have one daughter that's obviously already old enough to get her driver's license, but it seems like a lot of kids nowadays aren't in a hurry to get their driver's license.
No, and I don't blame them. I don't blame them one bit. Driving is scary. It is not what it used to be. Drivers on the road are maniacs, and
Yeah.
rideshare is just so so accessible, should I say, and not overly expensive if you're not going very far. And you split that between friends, you've got it made, or your parents drop you off. I, it's absolutely true. You see, that's my daughter lives in New York. She doesn't want to drive.
No.
There's no, yeah, no, and I get it. And the price of gas, insurance, what
Insurance.
they charge for a 16-year-old, like a new driver, what they rape you in the charges. It's just
Yep.
like, who can afford that? So, I totally get it. I get it. It's
Yeah.
scary. Yeah.
I just remember when, let's say you and I were in high school, we knew exactly of, when you had to take the written part, when when your birthday was, when you're gonna get that driver's license. I mean, it was usually always the day of your birthday that you had that driver's license ready to go. And I coach high school baseball, and I always ask kids all the time, "Are you driving?" And kids say all the time, "Not in a hurry." And then I
I
always say,
know.
don't rush a kid that's not ready to drive. If a kid tells you he doesn't not in a hurry to drive, don't rush him to drive, especially in Southern California where it is not easy to drive.
No, it's not. And back then, I think 16 was a little sketchy still to be able to drive, but these days it's very sketchy to be able to drive at 16 because this is not about you just knowing how to drive. This is like the the offensive drive. You have to
Yeah.
be on offense. Like you at all times you're surrounded by people who don't care about you, anybody else on the road. I go a block and you're almost in like two accidents. It's like, you have to be fully aware and ready. And that only comes with experience. That's not like something you learn on your driver's test or in driver's ed. This offensive defensive driving. It's real. It's real. And I'm a decent driver. So it's like if I'm scared out there, I don't think anybody new or nervous should be doing it. It's no way.
Were you ever a road rage person? Like, do you ever get mad at other drivers?
No.
Do you ever flick someone off, run the horn, anything like that?
Oh, I'm sure I've flipped people off, and I definitely honked the horn because on my way to carpool at school in the morning on the way, I kid you not, and the kids can attest to this. And one of the kids commented the other day, "Oh, I know, my mom's complaining about the same time. Nobody stops at stop signs. They
Yeah.
just go flying right through them, and you're like, "Wait a minute, hello, I don't have one, you have one." And it's, early morning, people probably late to work or trying to get to wherever they're going too quickly, and, we are having to slam on our brakes and honk at somebody at least 4 times a week, at least.
Yeah.
And that's just, that's wild. And we're in residential neighborhoods. We're not we're not like on major streets. We take residential streets the whole way there. Like slow down. Slow down. There's dogs. There's squirrels, there's dogs, there's kids, there's, moms just trying to get their kids to school. You're not going to get there any faster by running the stop sign.
Yeah. Hey, set your alarm clock earlier. It's not the kid's fault that you're running late. So
No.
don't stop running the stop signs in the neighborhoods. No, I'm with you on that one. It's funny. I've changed. Again, one of the 180s that as far as I've changed as I got older. I used to be one of those guys that got really upset in traffic. Like I would get out of the car upset. That guy,
Oh,
and and um, and I've changed so much on that because, you're all of a sudden hearing about shootings and I have a son who likes to run the horn and he'll say, "You got to run the horn on that guy." And I'm like, you know what? I'm not. I'm not going to give the dirty look. I'm not going to flick him off. I'm not going to do any of that stuff. And so it's so easy to just flip everybody off. But now I'm just afraid of getting shot at this point. You don't know who has a gun.
100%. You don't know who has a gun. Like, yeah, it's not talk about not worth it. That is not worth it, and it's just not worth your frustration. I will hit the horn only if it's to stop from being hit. Like, if it's like
Yeah.
if it's gonna help avoid an accident. I don't honk at somebody just because they cut in front of me or, they did something stupid. Literally, when they're running their stop sign and they're about to T-bone us, I will honk my horn. But, to that point, to your point, when I remember being pregnant with my oldest, and I don't know what I did, but I was driving up La Brea in Hollywood, and some guy was so furious with me and got out of the car, and I was so pregnant and so emotional, and he was screaming in my face, and I was like, "Wow." And you could clearly see I was pregnant. And I just was
Wow.
like, "Who gets out of the car and screams at a pregnant woman or anybody
Yeah.
in particular, but a pregnant woman?" And I just was like, it makes me, and when I see people act out in anger and stuff like that, I always go, "Oh, don't want to be that person."
Yeah, no, I've never gone after a woman in traffic. It's always been a guy, and it's usually the guy gets out of the car first. Just to set the record straight. I've never gone up to a car while somebody's sitting in the car. It's usually they
Okay.
get out of the car and they're like, "All right." I've had guys get out of the car on the freeway on me, like
Are
dead
you
stop on
kidding?
the no, on the 10, like going out of downtown towards West LA, and then people literally get out of the car, pass two cars, and walk back towards me, and then they never realize how big I am. I'm like, all right, so you think you're picking on a guy that's a small guy that you could take, and then I
And
get
then you
out
get
and I'm
out of the
six
car.
three, and
Yeah.
then they go, "Oh, that was a bad decision. That was a bad business decision." But yeah, I've had that. Yeah,
Getting
I had
out on the freeway,
on the
especially on
freeway.
the 10,
Yeah,
dear, that is when I would take off as fast as I could because in a residential area, okay, you're probably not gonna have a gun around here, but, like, on the freeway with complete, like, they could be from anywhere, that's so
yeah.
scary.
Yeah, I I have one really embarrassing one where it was a celebrity, and I was the antagonist where I was like, all right, we're gonna fighting right here in the street in Westwood, and it was embarrassing when you I realized it was someone that was very well known, and I just went, oh my gosh, like what am I doing? Like I got to
Who
get a
was
hold of
it?
myself. I think
Who
it was Troy Aikman, who was
oh,
quarterback at
yeah.
UCLA and the Dallas Cowboys, Hall of Famer, and Troy's a big dude. Troy's like 6'5", but it was me and like four other guys too. And he thought all four of us were gonna, five of us were gonna beat the crap out of him in this alley in Westwood. But we tracked him down, and literally right before we started, like we were gonna fight, I saw his license plate said UCLA 8 on his Ford Bronco, and I went, shit, it's Troy Aikman. And looking back at it, and I hear him on TV every week, I'm so embarrassed that I almost fought Troy Aikman over cutting me off in Westwood. I'm thinking this hillbilly from Oklahoma didn't know how to drive. What am I doing getting so mad? You know,
Yeah, I'm glad those days are past you because, yeah, that's
long
not good.
past
And why does Troy Aikman have his number on his license
because
plate?
he was 22-year-old college kid.
Oh my
And it,
god,
honestly,
that's
if it
fun.
wasn't, if it didn't say UCLA 8, I think he probably would have got punched. I might have saved him.
Oh,
But
not
again, in my head, I'm like, what the hell was I thinking?
yeah,
And
bad decisions on both your parts.
yeah, it was, especially mine. He was begging for us not to do anything, and it was really embarrassing. But yeah, it's funny. I was just gonna say celebrity and leave it at that. You go, who was it?
I know, yeah. You
You
think I'm not gonna
completely made
ask?
me
I
tell the
need to
story.
know.
Yeah,
I
you
need to
completely
know.
made me tell the story. Oh my gosh.
Okay, so wait, I
No,
have a
no,
product alert.
cool.
Which is it's so interesting because there's so many of these things on the market, and everybody that's going to buy one wants the same effect. They want to be healthier. They want to do something positive for themselves, and they're making the first effort. This stuff is not cheap. And what I started realizing is that, and what I'm talking about is like protein powders and superfood powders and all these things because I've been making all these smoothies and all of these juices and doing all this stuff, and you really be surprised what they sell in the health food stores.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm taking spirulina, if anybody's familiar with that. I think there's only like 3 companies on the market that do it without heat, like some sort of like heat procedure that it goes through, which depletes it of most of its benefits. And I got this. It's called Orgain Organic Protein, and they make it just protein powder, and they make this one that has 50 superfoods in it.
Oh,
Okay.
great.
Yeah. So everything in it is fantastic. Everything. I had almost purchased one. The first ingredient, which is always the biggest ingredient, was some filler that I had already read about and knew that that was like something you don't want in your body. And I was like, it's the number one. And it was an
Wow.
organic or good for you, blah, 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 in the health food store. And the fillers that are in it, the gums that are in it, the artificial sweeteners that are in things, it's just like if you don't read the labels, you're really putting something bad in your body when you're in fact making an effort to do something great for your body. And I find that horrifying.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't think that's fair. I think it's, and it's just the tip of the iceberg of what is so unfair about medical and nutrition in America, because it's all about the mighty, mighty dollar. I don't know why they can't make the healthy food powders just healthy. I mean, why do you have to add these additives? Maybe it's cheaper. I don't know, but it's like, why bother? But it comes back to this whole thing where I feel like they give us food to make us more sick and to keep us sick. So even when you think you're doing something great, go read those labels item by item. And I mean, the one I almost purchased had one ingredient that was bad, one, and it was the first one, but it was a bad one.
Yeah.
So it's not like, oh, you can just scan the label and think it's fine. You have to read and know exactly what each one of them are, because that one is what's terrible for you. This one is not. And this one is competitively priced. I, in fact, got this one on Amazon. They were selling it for 26 in a lot of places. I got it for 20 because I kept looking. It's a lot. It tastes fine. It tastes good. I mean, it's not crazy. Trader Joe's they smell a smaller bottle. They sell a smaller container, but it's just the protein. It doesn't have the superfoods in it.
Yeah.
And that's even less expensive. So if you are looking to add something like this to your shakes and smoothies and juices, whatever, I highly recommend this company. They are just kudos to
Good.
you, Orgain, because yeah, because they have all the right stuff in it at the right price. So I love stuff like that. That makes me so happy.
I'm glad you brought that up because again, it doesn't matter if you're male or female. It's one of those we all are trying to get healthier. It's the beginning of the year. A lot of people have their New Year's resolutions, but at the same time, it's people don't do their homework on it, and then you throw money away. Or basically, I used to work in the health food store, and they'd say, "Man, basically, you're just going to pee this out." It's not going to give you anything you want. It's all a money maker, and you're going to pee it right out anyway.
Yeah, and in fact, there are some ingredients that do damage. Like
Yep,
that's the part that really
true.
my
Some do damage
chaps
to your
my hide.
kidneys.
Is like, yeah, you're hurting yourself. You're putting chemicals when you're trying to do something, you're trying to do something good for yourself every day. And I find that terrible, 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 terrible. So, and it is hard to do all the research. So, if you're in the market for one or you ever thought about trying to get one, check that one out. The taste it's mild. My daughter says she can taste it. For me, I can taste it, but look, I'm an adult. I will have things. It doesn't taste horrible. I will eat things that don't taste like a dessert. Don't expect it to taste like a milkshake from somewhere. It definitely, but I put the almond butter and the bananas in it, and the coconut milk, and it tastes good. It does not taste bad. And you just have to get past that stuff to when you're doing something positive for yourself.
It's funny. We've all done that move where we said, "Okay, this is good for me," but you can barely get it down, and you ever do it? You have to hold your nose to drink it because it's one sense that you take out of it. Not that it smells, but you don't taste it as much if you hold your nose. And, and we've all tried that move, and you're like, "I can do this." Or you get the dessert where it says it tastes just like chocolate, and you're like, the first bite, you're like, "I can do this," and then by bite 4, you're like, "I can't do this,
This is
man. This
terrible.
aftertaste is ridiculous. Like, is that lead in my mouth? What do I taste?" Yeah.
I know. I really though, I think they've come a long way with the right combinations of things to put in. So like Whole Foods has a juicing bar and I kind of just copied some of their recipes and went home and
Good.
did them myself. So no, I did make one that was like that. And I sat there and I was like, I looked at my daughter, I was like, I would never do it again. She's like, I can smell it from here. And I put I put a tablespoon of spirulina in it instead of half a teaspoon. And spirulina, anybody that knows, it's like an algae. It's like it's like a superfood from algae. So it has a fishy a fishy seaweedy taste to it. A lot of people take it by tablets. I understand why. I always used to take it by tablets, but I was like, I'm going to try just adding it to these one less step. But I put way too much in the first one. And I mean,
Oh,
but I said,
wow.
no, I'm going to drink it and I'm going to get an extra dose of it. And then I'll never do it again. I'll never make this mistake again. So now I'm
I
like,
was
if
like,
I just put a pinch of it in each one that I make, at least by the end of the day, I'll have the full serving.
there you go. I
Yeah.
just like the idea on this show, use the phrase "chaps my hide." When's the last time you've ever said that?
I don't know.
Have you ever said that in your lifetime?
Yes, I do. I
Oh, you
say
don't say
strange
"pisses me
things.
off"?
I
Chaps
do
my
say
hide.
pisses me off. I say a lot
Yeah.
of things. It's probably like my mom, my mom speaking through me. But yeah, chaps my hide.
All right. let's uh let's get to the mailbag. We got a bunch of them actually. All right, that I'm gonna try and get through today.
Okay.
Again, Nicole's mailbag. It's right there on the website, perfectlytwistedpod.com. Right at the top, it says mailbag, so you can ask your questions right through there. I will try and no, I think the first one is pronounced Kenya, is from the girl. Now you tell me I think it's a girl. Kyna is how she spells it. Is it Kenya? Kenya? What would you
Kenya.
guess? Kenya. Okay, good.
Yeah, I think Kenya.
Yeah, that seems to make more sense, right? All right. It says, Nicole, what is something you love that everyone else seems to hate?
Something I love. Okay. I love going to the market. Like,
You love to shop at the market. You
mhm,
like the process.
yeah, I love it.
Yeah,
And I
that's
love
cool.
coming home and unpacking it, and I love the whole market process. I can't be alone in that. Someone please tell me I'm not alone in that, but I am happy to do it. So when people get their groceries, delivered, I'm mind blown. I'm 100% mind blown because I am like, "You didn't pick out the bananas the way you like them, you know? You didn't check the strawberry pack and the blueberry packs with your own eyes. You're just paying for it and having it dropped off." No, no, no. I have to hand pick everything, and, I like to go when I'm hungry so that I buy more than
Yeah,
what I would normally buy, so we've got more food in the house, so, yeah, I love to go
that
to the
is
market.
that's interesting because you have to time it out. A lot of times I'll go to the market when I'm starving and I'll buy so much. And
Yeah.
then I will go to the market when I just went out to dinner, like on the way
You don't want
home, and then I
anything.
buy nothing.
Yeah,
And I go, there's nothing in this house. Yeah, like you have to balance it out. For me, at
it's
least, I have to
true.
balance it out. Either I'm going to spend $500, I'm going to spend $50, and it doesn't work out either way. Like I have to time out how full I am when I go shopping.
Yeah, I
You
like to
know?
go a little hungry so that I know that there's gonna be snacks and meals and, for the at least for the next few
Yeah.
days, and we're gonna be set. The other thing I cannot stand that people seem to love. Oh, no. Oh, no, that wasn't the question. The question was, what do I
What do you
love
love
that
that
other
other
people
people seem to hate? Which is, I think, true. I think a lot of people hate going to the store because you have to worry about, especially in California, in LA, I should say, you have to worry about even parking. If am I
Yeah,
going to find a parking spot? I
yeah,
mean, there's a hassle to going shopping.
but I
So,
like
all
it.
right,
One of my favorite
I
things
got
to do.
I got a shopping question for you because my friends think I'm strange. So when I go shopping, I go right when the store opens. Okay. And
Uh-huh.
my big fear is, and you're in a much bigger bracket in this than I am, is I don't want to run into anybody I know. And and thing is, Nicole, I'm so bad with faces and recognizing people. And usually it's a parent of a kid that I coach. And unless that kid's wearing a baseball cap, I can't recognize any of the kids. And then they go, coach, do you remember me? And I'm like, I've coached like 150 teams. I don't. And then you feel like a jerk. And so I try and shop when I don't see anybody. Do you try and go shopping at times when you think the store's not going to be crowded because you just want
Yes.
to do your shopping and don't want to be bothered?
Well, mine's for a different reason. I go
Yes.
because I can't stand a crowded store and I can't stand waiting in line. I'm completely impatient. So I will even do self checkout because I just can't wait. And I like to pack my own groceries. I could go
Oh,
back
do
to
you
the
really?
grocery shopping thing again. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes,
Look
I
at
like
you.
it.
Look at
Well,
you.
like, okay, so I went to the market day before yesterday, and the kid who's bagging the groceries, he I bring my 2 bags, it should be plenty, and, one of them's, like, half full and the other one's overflowing, and he's got all this extra. He's like, "So do you want a plastic bag?" And I was like, "No, no, no, I have more bags in the cart. Put it in the cart, but why aren't you filling up that bag?" He goes, "Well, I had to put the eggs on the bottom." I was like,
Oh.
"You had to put the eggs on the bottom? Is that right? You had to put the eggs on the bottom." I said, "Well, thanks for the heads up. No, just put it all in the cart. I'll deal with it when I get to the car." But you had to put the eggs on the bottom. I like to pack my own shit, you know?
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
you. I get you. I got a lady who works at a store by my house, and I try and never get into her line because I'm not joking. She's 75 pounds and she can't lift anything. I mean, it's like she has to bend the knees and two arms to put a jar of pickles in the bag. And you're just like, good Lord. And then she tells you everything you buy if she likes it or if her boyfriend likes it. I'm like, I don't
Oh,
give a shit. Like, just put it
she's
in the
a
goddamn
chatty.
bag. Yeah. And it just
Well,
takes forever.
Trader Joe's always does that, but they're really quick. So, like, I will not go to Trader Joe's past like 10 o'clock in the morning. We all
Yeah.
know that they all have the worst parking lots everywhere, and
Yep.
those aisles are so small. So, I will not venture in there unless it's an emergency. I will not go to a Trader Joe's, but they're chatty, but they bag really quick. They move
Yeah.
in those lines, but I feel what you're saying. I have one checker at my store at one of the stores I go to that I avoid, but it's only because she's mean to me. I see her being nice to everybody else, and she's horrible to me. And I'm like, if she has nobody in her line and there's somebody in somebody else, I'll still go in the other line. I'm like, I'm not going next to her.
All right.
Rude.
I'm not crazy then. That
No,
good. I'm glad you have your theory. All right, next
no.
question by Kenya is kind of just the opposite. Is what is something, Nicole, that you hate that everyone else seems to love?
Okay, all right. Well, I was gonna answer the other one. Mustard. I hate yellow mustard. I like a
Do you
brown
really?
mustard. I like any kind of mustard except that fake stuff they call mustard that's not really mustard. That bright yellow.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna name any names. Um, I can't understand how anybody can eat that. I can't understand. Like, if you ever needed me to vomit, if I ever ingested something poisonous and you needed me to vomit, put that in my mouth.
Oh my
And the
gosh.
other yeah, another thing that I just I with every part of my body, I hate is driving, like long drives, especially long drives. Anything over like 5 or 10 minutes, I am
I thought you were gonna say hours. You just said minutes.
no, no. Oh my god. Last spring, let me tell you something. Last spring, I drove to Vegas for a wedding, and it is the first time I had driven since I was a little kid. And I got like an hour and a half into this, and I was like, what have I done? What am I doing?" And it was both my kids, my sister, and myself. And I was like, why did I not just buy plane tickets? What have I done? And then like 2.5 hours into it, I was like, we have to stop. Like, we have to
Stop in
stop. I have to
Barstow.
get out of this car. To me, 5 hours in a car is pure torture.
Yeah. 5 hours is my limit. That's as far as I'll drive, whether it's Vegas or Phoenix. That's about as far as I go. I can't do 5 hours in an airplane is about as far as I can handle it. I get a lot of pressure to go
You're a
to
little bit
Italy.
different. No, I will never drive to Vegas again. Never. Like,
You shouldn't.
there's nothing for me in Vegas that I need to be driving there for. If I can't fly there, I'm not going. I don't even like to drive to Orange County and back. That's 45 minutes. I all I can do is think about it, and I'm dreading it, and I don't know what it is. I hate being confined in a car. I'm also claustrophobic, but I just hate being confined in a car for that amount of
Yeah.
time.
That is funny. 5 or 10 minutes
Hate
is your limit.
never
I swear I thought you were about to say hours. Like if this
no,
was match game, I completely would have lost right there.
no. 5 or 10 minutes is my max safe. People are like, "Can you meet me in Beverly Hills or can you meet me in Santa Monica?" I'm like, "What? That's like a 25-minute drive." No.
That is so funny.
Uh-huh.
All right, Nicole, have you ever had an embarrassing wardrobe malfunction on the red carpet?
Oh. Not really like where there was like a slip or something showed or anything like that, but I guess we could say some of my, wardrobe choices were maybe, regrettable. I would say those are probably the biggest, like, malfunctions I've had is maybe some of the choices of outfits I chose to wear.
What is tell me what is the red carpet like? I mean, none of us, who are listening are gonna experience that. Like, what is a red carpet like? Where do you look? Like, do you feel like as soon as you step out of the car, you have to just smile nonstop?
Yeah.
And how does it work? How does it work? Explain it to us.
Yes. So immediately, okay, so you walk down this red carpet and then it's lined with rows and rows, a big red carpet at least. Let's just talk about, like a big red carpet. There's just so many photographers and they're all screaming your name and they're all from different directions because they all want you to look at their
Camera, yeah.
camera. So you kind of walk, you kind of like try to, take your gaze in different places, but it's like it's hard because a lot of people are, posing and like they know and they've practiced and they know how they're going to look best. I'm just trying not to trip and fall down. Just like, please don't trip. Please don't fall. Um, and it's so for me, it's just sort of like I just try to smile and get through it as quickly as possible because it's a lot. But it's
Yeah.
fun, it's nice, it's harmless. They always pick the worst pictures. Um, and I don't have that, like, posing thing down, so I'm not very good at it, but, it's a lot, the flashing lights, and they scream your name and scream your name, and then you're like, it can be very overwhelming.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, it
Yeah.
seems cool to watch from the outside, but it seems like it could be very overwhelming.
I mean, talk about all eyes on you, right? So if
No
you're one of
kidding.
those people like me who gets all nervous and fumbly and
Yeah.
klutzy, um, yeah, that's exactly how you feel. I get a little shaky and trembly and like, oh God. Um, so yeah, it's really nerve-wracking. But you
Yeah.
just fake it. You just fake it till you make it all the way down the end of the carpet.
All right, I have a few more for you if you're in for it. Chris DeSoto has some for you. It says, Nicole, name a total badass behind the scenes that is an actor who's actually a nice guy, but could actually whip someone's ass. That's his
What
writing.
does that mean? Wait, say that again. What does that mean?
It says, name someone that is a nice guy that we all think is a really nice guy, but in reality, he can be a tough guy if he has to be.
Um,
Have you ever worked with an actor that go, man, that guy's a really nice guy, but man, if things came to blows, this guy could take care of himself.
well, Jason Momoa.
That's who I was thinking you were gonna say. Yeah, I would have won
Jason
that one in
Momoa.
match game.
Yeah. Jeremy Jackson.
That's right.
Uh, I'm sure there's a lot. Mark Wahlberg. Um, trying to think who I would want on my side. I mean, there's plenty of them. And you mean like in a physical, they could
Yeah,
physically,
yeah,
y
nice guys, nice guys, but hey, if there's an altercation, they can take care of themselves.
oh, I'm sure there's more and I'm blanking on it.
I think you named 3 good ones right there.
I think I named 3 good ones, didn't I?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think you did. Yeah, I would have got the
Mm.
Jason Momoa one. That would have been on my card. I would have guessed that's what you were gonna say. Say, "I got one."
Yeah.
Okay, God, these are great questions, Chris DeSoto. For me, at least, I'm curious too. What's the worst altercation you've ever seen between 2 actors? Have you ever seen an issue on a set?
Okay. Um, I have one. Okay, one. It wasn't between 2 actors, this first one. It was between an actor and a girl that worked for me, and the actor pushed her. He
Oh,
threw a chair at another crew member, and he pushed her. And it was horrifying. I just was but he kind of was so all over the place. It wasn't something like you weren't dealing with complete sanity, if you know what I mean.
yeah.
So it was something like, let's just tiptoe. Everybody was on eggshells with that one. And then I'll tell you a good altercation is when I was shooting just was it called Just One of the Girls? With Corey Haim, I think that's what it's called. I was in a scene and I was supposed to having like an argument with a fellow cheerleader, and she turned around and she punched me in the face, like
Oh, yeah.
straight square, punched me in the face and broke my nose on film. So, I can't think
Yeah.
of a better altercation than that. But otherwise, no, I haven't seen anybody like. I mean, Willie Ames and Scott Baio used to fight a lot, but nothing like throwing blows or anything like that.
Just more like
Um,
screaming at each other?
yeah, more like arguments going on, but, not no, I don't think I've ever seen any actors go to blows like that, but I got punched in the face, so
So do you think she 100% punched you on purpose, or was in the scene to throw a punch and like miss, or was it just she just punched you in the face?
it was supposed to be that she was like the head cheerleader, I wanna say, and I don't know, we were having exchanging words, and she's supposed to start to walk away, and I'm supposed to, like, grab her arm to, like, stop her and be like, "Wait a minute, da 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 da," and continue this fighting, but when I pulled her arm and turned around, she just swung on me, and I
Wow.
think I know, I don't know if she was so in the moment. I wanna say she just was so in the moment of this argument thing, whatever, and, maybe she had some underlying issues about me, I don't know. But, she didn't hold back, she punched me in the nose.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh. Is that an
I know.
easy way, by the way, if there's an altercation on a set, is that an easy way not to work again? To go, all right, look, that person's a headache. That person's, loose cannon. We can't take a chance of hiring this person again.
I mean, yeah, I think so. I think that nobody likes any altercations like that, but, you
Yeah.
hear stories of, actors that are hard to deal with, but when they bring that money in and that their box office numbers are big and they do a great job, portraying that character, they do tend to get hired more often. I think you're seeing less and less of that and the tolerance for that kind of behavior these days. But in the past, no, not really.
Yeah.
Not if they could insure, as long as they could insure the actor and the actor could get approved by insurance, um, they just would get rehired over and over again.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, another one from Chris DeSoto. It says, Nicole, I mean, no disrespect with this question, just curious, but was the whole Alex Rodriguez episode staged? Your agent seemed like he was trying to portray an over the top character.
Okay, this is a multi-layered. You just opened a can of worms there, buddy. Um,
Look what you did, Chris.
yeah, Chris, good call. This show's very heavily produced, I will say. Um, the whole business deal, everything like this that was supposed to be going down. No, this wasn't a feasible thing at all. It was never going to happen. Um, and that was not my agent. He was my manager, and him and Alex, there was stuff you didn't see behind the scenes. And it just got to a point where it was like we knew that this was kind of bullshit, and we knew like it just some things you can go along with, it's bullshit and you can go along with it and you're like, fine, fine, fine. But when they turn around and start trying to make you look bad or something, or they start trying to like pin it on you, it's
Yeah.
like, no, it's not going to work out that way. David is not going to allow somebody to just ridicule him or like rip him apart when they're not showing the whole story. And, it's just, he just had enough. He'd had enough of the way they were, trying to spin it. So like, for instance, they're like, yeah, well, they wanted me to run another food truck. I didn't want to run another food truck. I don't want anything to do with another food truck. I did that. I had one. They're great. It was so much fun. It was more for the kids. I'm not cut out for that kind of work. It's hard labor. It's a lot of
Yeah.
work. It's like running a professional kitchen. But the thing is like they were like, the truck that they brought forward, and I think it was all for camera purposes and storyline purposes, but it didn't even have the proper equipment in it. But then they were actually trying to get us to like sign some kind of contracts or something, and we were like, no, I'm not signing any kind of contract for this truck that's not even properly equipped, and I don't want to do this. It just nothing. It was like 1 minute they would seem really positive and like they were trying to make a good, fun show, and then the next moment they were trying to make it like, oh, well, you're not doing this because you're difficult, and it was
Oh,
like, well, no, we're not doing this because it's not feasible.
yeah.
And none of those and at the end of the day, we knew that it wasn't real. We knew that none of these jobs that they were talking about helping people start were gonna come to fruition.
Yeah.
So it kind of got into that kind of match. And listen, David, who was my manager and who Chris is talking about, he's a no frills guy. And he's a nice guy, but he's not going to take any shit. And
Yeah.
um he's going to clap back. He's not afraid of anybody. He's not intimidated by anybody. He'll go to blows. He's just not gonna take that, and he's not gonna take it from me, who was his client. And of course, they only used the parts they wanted to use that
Of course.
worked in their storyline. And I love that production company, I really do. But you know, it was a funny thing. And Alex Rodriguez had the earpiece in the whole time. He didn't even really he was like being fed what to say.
Exactly.
And he says to me in one scene, he says, "Oh, my friend, has this food truck company, and he has food trucks, and he can really give us a lot of advice, and we can talk about it and this and that, blah 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 blah." And then when we cut and everything, I asked him, I was like, "So where's your friend located?" He's like, "I don't know anybody with a food truck." You know, it was that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I got you. I got you.
Yeah,
At that point, were you like, "What the hell are we doing?" Yeah, I
yeah.
mean,
So it's like, if
that's
I'll play
crazy.
along, I signed on to
Yeah,
do it. I'm getting paid for it. I'll play along, no problem. But when you start to make it look like
yeah,
I'm not doing my part or David's not doing his part, people are going to get mad.
you're exactly right. Exactly. Chris, thanks for the questions. Again,
Yeah,
if you have
thank
a
you, Chris.
question for the show, again, perfectlytwistedpod.com, Nicole's mailbag right at the top of the page. We'll get your question on there, do the best we can to get it on in a timely fashion. But Nicole, that was a lot of fun. It always is a lot of fun for me. I always find something out that I didn't know. So that was cool. That was cool.
Yes, thanks for the questions, guys. I really like it too. It's funny. Makes me think. Okay, so everybody have a great week. Don't forget to subscribe to us, like us, leave a comment, and tune in. And we will see you next week.